Hey, what's up? I'm Kenny from Radius Drums. One-man show snare drum builder out of Port Orchard, Washington. Um, I just I love drums and I love building drums. And let's talk about drums. I built snare drums. Stave built snare drums. Um, much like this one right here. Where's the logo? Oh, see that? There we go. This is stave. You can see nice and thick shell. This is a 12 by 6 little side snare. This thing pops like crazy. That one's my personal. Both my snares uh, are built by me. I have that 12-inch. The purple one is hard rock maple, and my main snare is cedar, really thick cedar shell. Um, Actually, for cedar, it's pretty versatile sounding. You can tune it up pretty high, and I like to keep it really low. It's got a nice heavy sound, fat, weighted sound to it. It's pretty cool. Keep the snare wires a little loose, and it's just bah, big fat sound. I love it. This be a show we're talking about what's going on in the drum world, um, what I'm working on in the shop, what drums I'm building currently, and we'll get into some interviews with some of my friends and other builders, other drummers, and let's have a good time. So, I've never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing, so bear with me. It's going to be weird for me. It might be weird for you. So, we'll just figure it out as we go along here and just have a good time. So, right now, I'm working on a Purple Heart snare with maple pinstripes. It's 13 inches around. It's probably going to end up being a 13 by 7. That's kind of one of my favorite sizes to make. So I've got that rounded right now, the outer rounding done. I don't know if you know stave drums. So stave drums are a bunch of pieces of solid wood glued together like a barrel. And then, you glue them all together, and I take them, and I've got all these different router jigs made. Um, so you get them glued up, and you round the outside first, and that's where I'm at now with that Purple Heart shell. And then later on this week, I'll throw it on the inside jig and route the inside. So it's all, it'll get to its final thickness. And after that, I'll throw it on yet another jig on my table saw, which will true it up, get it square, get the edges parallel before I go and cut the bearing edges and snare beds and all that. I'll be finishing the exterior, get the finish lacquer built up, sanded down, polished before I cut the bearing edges and snare beds. But we'll get into that as time goes on. I'm also working on some oak. I've got some oak snares in process right now. I've got 3 shells glued up. One of them has got the outside rounding finished, and I'm about to start working on the other 2, and those are going to be awesome. I haven't finished anything recently. There was a gap in building. I've been trying to get the website up. So now's a good time to throw that out there. I've got a website, radiusdrums.com. You can shop my drums directly from the website. You can click the Shop Now button, or you go to radiusdrums.com/shop, and you can buy whatever drums I have in stock currently. You can also go and buy any merch. I've got T-shirts, 3/4 sleeve, like baseball style shirts, coffee mugs, hats, whatever. I've got some 3D printed shakers, which are cool. And, more drums will become available as they get built. And, I don't know, get out there and buy a handmade snare drum by yours truly. So I've been building drums for about 6 years. Took a lot of time kind of perfecting the building. Now don't get me wrong, I'm still learning. Right now I'm working on getting better at finishes. I'm still striving for um, that super high gloss polish finish. Um, which my drums currently have a nice finish on them, but they don't have that glass that I'm looking for. So I've um, been really learning and just YouTubing how to get that glass-like polish um, out of my lacquer. So as time goes on, the finishes will get better and better, no doubt. I'm happy to say that I'm striving to get better with every drum. My first drum, actually, I have it right here. The first drum I ever built successfully was out of some um, leftover wood flooring from a job. I work commercial construction in my normal life, and this carpenter was doing some flooring, and I got a bunch of his cutoffs, and this thing is rough. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. So, oh, there we go. You can see the inside still has all the grooves for the glue to spread on the bottom. And I just had no idea what was going on. But this is the first successful shell that I ever made for myself. It's pretty rough, but I'm happy to say it's gotten a lot better since then. And once I posted that, I posted on Facebook, just like saying, "Hey, this is what I'm doing, trying this out." Um, a friend of mine hit me up, and he's like, "Dude, we got to talk. You got to build me a drum." And I'm like, "What?" I mean, if you're gonna pay for all the hardware and the lumber, like, I'll give it a whirl. And so that's what happened. And I built this. It was a 14x8 cherry and birch snare drum with just like 2.5-inch tube lugs and um, Gibraltar throw off, and threw Evans reverse dot on there, and I want to say like an Evans 300 on the bottom, on the Rezo side. And when I put it together, I didn't actually finish it completely until I delivered it to the guy. And so, I had the drum and a few pieces at my house, and he had heads and snare wire and some other pieces at his house, so I couldn't even complete it until I delivered the drum. So we took the drum down to his basement, to his kit, and put it all together down there. and assembled it, and I was so nervous because he spent a fair amount of money getting this thing, you know, built out, and I hadn't assembled it yet. And this is only um, the second snare drum that I had built, so I was so nervous. And we put it all together and tuned it up. Um, I want to say die-cast hoops, but once I put it together, gave me the honor of um, taking the first crack at it once we put it on his kit. And man, I couldn't believe that something that I had built, the first drum I built, it just sounded like a shitty snare drum. Like anybody could throw that thing together. But I had really taken a deep dive building it for someone else. And anyway, once we put it together and hit the drum, I couldn't believe the something that I had built sounded so good. I was just hooked immediately. And yeah, after that, I mean, we sat in his basement and played it for, an hour and took videos and took a photo shoot and all this stuff. And it was just unbelievable. It was like I had no idea how it was going to sound. And taking it down, putting it together, and taking the first crack at it in this wide open concrete room, I was just amazed. And I just knew that after that, I was going to be building snare drums for a while after that. So time went on. I built a few for friends, and I just gradually started getting better. And obviously, when 2020 hit, I decided to take the plunge and officially start Radius Drums. Get the business license and all of that. So now I've got, my garage is converted into a full-time shop. I've got the website. Go check out the Instagram. A lot more of my story there. And yeah, I basically, since that first realization that I could create pretty awesome sounding snare drum, just like second try, like I've been chasing that ever since. And it's awesome. Every drum I make sounds different. Obviously, different types of wood, different sizes. They're all gonna have a different vibe. But yeah, that has become what I'm about. So I'm excited to start this thing where we have conversations about drums, um, and just kind of see where this YouTube podcast thing goes. I'll do Q&As. If you have any questions for me, um, throw them in the comments. If you have any ideas you'd like me to tackle and talk about, throw those in the comments as well. But I'm just winging it here. So that's kind of how I do things. I have an idea, and I just dive in and see what works, what doesn't, fix the problems as we go, and tweak the things that do work to make them work better. So hang in there. Hey, bear with me. But I'm saying let's go. Let's talk about drums. Let's build some drums. Go check out my stuff. Radiusdrums.com. At Radius Drums on Instagram. I mess around with TikTok a little bit, but that's that's a weird thing. So maybe I'll get better at that too. But anyway, I guess this is officially episode 1. So um, yeah, let's do it. Everybody have a great day and rock and roll.